Welcome back to the channel, and guys, today we're going to be taking a look at some more movie news as we take a look at Terrifier 3's chaotic release. We're also going to be talking about Robbie Williams' new biopic. We're also going to be taking a look at the Joker 2 Disaster Class. We're going to be taking a look at Scream 7 that's coming out in 2026, and also Tobin Bell's return to Saw 11. We're going to get into all of that in just a second, but do us a massive favour and smash that subscribe button. That would be much appreciated. So first up, Terrifier 3. I think this one's the best one to start off with because this has been the news of the week practically, because everybody has been talking about it for it's sort of the right but wrong reasons at the same time. You want your horror movies to be horrific, gory and great watches at the same time, but you don't want people throwing up in cinemas. But are they just wet wipes? I don't know until I've seen it, and I'm going to go see it Tuesday. But from the noise around it, it seems a very gory, horrible, horrific type of film. But if you've seen Terrifier 1 and 2, that's what they are. So I don't know if it's that people that are horror fans that have never seen the Terrifier franchise are going, oh my god, this is too horrific for me, and then they're thrown up. But saying that, even if you're a horror fan, and like a true horror fan, you watch the Saw films, Hostel maybe, and all these films that are gory. So it's one of those where you can sort of see it from one side of the fence, but then at this side where you're thinking, well, aren't you meant to be going because you're horror fans? You shouldn't be throwing up in cinema. That's all I'm going to be saying on that one. Or even mass walking out because of how gory it is. But saying that, if it's 100 times more gory than the first two, then fair enough. But I would expect it walking into a Terrifier 3, that's what it's going to bring. But I think from that noise, I think that's a good sign. Because to me, I don't want to walk into a horror movie and not heard anything, or not heard anybody going to see it, or not hearing that somebody has walked out because it's that scary, or the jump scares. Because the negative noise around movies is like the Joker, what we're going to get onto later on, where you hear mass walkouts for a negative reason, because it's boring or something bad happens in there where you're like, this is just a shit film. If that sort of thing happens, then you'd be worried. But this sort of walkout, I think that's a positive sign for horror moving forward. Next up is the Robbie Williams biopic, and I think this is getting a lot of headlines probably because of the wrong reasons as well. It's because this biopic is way different from any of the biopics released. There's like Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man and Elvis, which I haven't seen. If it's worth watching, let me know down in the comments down below. But those biopics which have been released in recent times have been at a standard where they needed biopics. You would have said all three of them eventually needed biopics, and they got them. And with Robbie Williams, it's weird for one instance as well, because do you think Robbie Williams is at their level where he needs a biopic right now at this minute in time? I'm at that thing where I'm like, no, not really. But at the same time, I can see an argument for it, because I'm sure he's got tons and tons of stories to tell. But then again, at least tell it as yourself, not like you in that position, like they did with Bohemian Rhapsody, where Ray Malik played him, and Taron Egerton, where Taron Egerton played Elton John. But in this version, he's playing himself, I think, and as a monkey, or as a chimpanzee, in which is wild, and he's doing the voiceover for that. I just think that's stupid and ridiculous, if you ask me, for a biopic. I mean, it's meant to show your life and whatever, but apparently to Michael Gracie, he wanted to make the biopic more interesting and different from all the other biopics in the past, to make it more fun and enjoyable. But what I'm totally against is, let's say if you're going into a very serious moment, like when we saw in Bohemian Rhapsody, there were several serious moments in the thing, and imagine turning Rami Malek's character of Freddie Mercury into, I don't know, a lion. It just doesn't work. It doesn't have that same effect in those serious moments where you need it. So to me, I think even in this instance as well, with the Robbie Williams biopic, it'll get to a point where there's a serious moment and it'll just look stupid and quite funny, where it's not meant to be that. And I get it that people see him as a chimpanzee or something like that, or that's the way he's perceived to be, like a monkey. He acts around, he messes around a lot. But I think they could have done that better, where they just cast somebody as Robbie Williams, and then you'd get to actually see the story that people want to see. But that's just my opinions, and I could be proven wrong, and this could be a great film. We'll just have to wait and see when it gets released on the 26th of December. Next up then, time to jump into a bit of horror news, and Scream 7 is going to be released in 2026, in which is a while away yet. but it should be at the start of 2026, and a big announcement that Neve Campbell should be returning to play her role as Sydney in the franchise again, after contractual disputes in the reason why she weren't in the 6th film, in which to me is a great thing to do to help bring her back. But do we really need to see another Scream? Maybe we do, maybe we don't. I think it's great to see Ghostface back killing and having this mystery thing, but I think Scream 6, when I went to the cinema to see that, I felt that it wrapped it up in the best possible way, but now you're unraveling it again to go into another film. I think it's maybe to do with ending Neve Campbell in Scream. I think they might end up killing her off, but that's just trying to figure out what's going to actually happen, or something big that's going to happen in that film. But we're going to have to wait and see in 2026 when that is released as well. But that is some big movie news of Neve Campbell potentially returning back as Sydney. And next up, it was going to happen eventually, we would have to talk about the Joker 2 Disaster Class, as well as that has been stirring around for the last 2 weeks, I want to say now, as Joker 2 came out and everybody was fucking disappointed. And I've been to see it, and I must say it's not as bad as people are saying it is in the public perception, but it is disappointing towards the back end of the film. But I do think people are hyping it out as one of the worst films of all time. It's nothing like that. I would watch it for yourself and decide for yourself whether you think it's a good film or a bad film. I do think they cocked up making this a musical. I do think they cocked up in doing the ending the way it's ended. I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you want to go watch my movie review, we've covered how it ends and everything in that movie review, so go check that out after this video. But also, I think a lot of people are just pissed off that it's not like the original. And it's nothing like the original. It's way off from the original. And it feels like this sequel, instead of moving the franchise forward, it goes backwards. And that's not what you want to see with a sequel. You don't want to see the franchise going backwards on itself. You want to see it moving forward in a nice, great light. But let us know down in the comments down below what your thoughts are on Joker 2, because I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, but it is still disappointing. Let us know down in the comments down below what you think. Not massive news to end us today, but TOBIN Bell is returning in Saw 11, and I think everybody saw that coming. I don't know about you, but every film since he got killed off in Saw 3, he's returned and returned and returned, and they love just to put him in there just for the sake of it and shits and giggles and stuff, of just bringing him back and going, oh, is he alive or is he not alive, and all these things. And that's for me where I think Saw maybe have gone too far, but you can't have a Saw sequel without TOBIN Bell. They go together. And to me, having him saying, yeah, I'm going to be a part of it again is brilliant news. But to me, I do think they need to stop making Saw movies now. I think 10 should have been like, well, the full circle, we should end it. I don't know what 11's even going to be about, but we'll wait and see, I guess, when it comes around on the 26th September 2025. So yeah, it's one to look out for, I guess, for next year. Before we jump back into this video, guys, please do us a massive favour and smash that subscribe button, because you do not want to miss a thing this week, next week, and the week after, because we've got tons and tons of content planned for you guys, and you can do us a massive favour by smashing that subscribe button, joining the community, getting updates to all the latest videos, from the YouTube shorts to the actual videos. It is well worth it, completely free, and you will not regret it. So let us know down in the comments down below what your thoughts are on all the news today. Is there anything that you agree with, disagree with, that we've talked about? Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about? Get those down in the comments down below, and we'll get through those eventually. And do us a massive favour, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you have not checked out our video on Joker 2 Folly of Deuce, check that out by clicking on screen now.